And good morning. It's 7:03 on this Wednesday, June 17th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody. We welcome you on a Wednesday morning, and I don't know, it seems like it's a carbon copy just about of yesterday and Monday. Some great weather, magnificent, terrific, wonderful weather, and we're on the Air Force Cedarstone Bank this morning. Glad to have Bob McDonald here live in studio so we can eyeball to eyeball this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, my friend. Good to be with you.
Well, it's nice to have you here, and it's nice to have you regardless. But we do want to say Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Julia, Donaldson, simple banking, simply better, and that's the way it's been for all these years.
2004 is when we opened, April of 2004. So isn't that hard? 16 years?
16 years old.
Can you believe that?
No. It's been, for the most part, 16 good years. There's been one or two that wasn't the greatest.
It's been 16 great years, and just proud to serve the community as we do. And but Susan was asking me this morning again, as she does each Wednesday,
what are y'all going to talk about?
What are we going to talk about? And the answer is the same. I have no idea, but I tell you, if something did come to mind just now, as we were talking about you and I being together all these years. You know, we talk a lot about your garden and your gardening and your tomatoes and your vegetables. And I saw a good friend of mine yesterday, been a dear friend of mine for many years. You know Junior Hawkins, Coach Hawkins, who was at Cumberland for all those years, coached softball. And I bet he coached softball over 25 years, had a bunch of championships, and but just a dear friend of mine. And when he retired, a few years ago, he started selling fresh vegetables and other produce, fruits, local honeys and jams.
Oh.
Sells it out of his truck, and he has a big trailer now. And he sets up, you can find him over in the parking lot there at the OK Mart, right up by the road. And when I leave here this morning, I'm heading right over there and get some honey.
Okay.
But anyway,
are you a big proponent of honey?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've loved it forever. Yeah. But anyway.
Well, I have a spoonful of honey on my cereal every morning.
Do you? Yeah.
But
that's healthy. But I'm on my way to see Coach Hawkins, and because I don't know if his tomatoes are as good as yours, but I bet they're pretty close.
Well, I hope they're better than mine were last year. I'm looking. I've changed varieties, and I'm hoping for a better deal this year.
Well, don't forget to bring me some. You usually bring me a few.
Okay.
Susan asked about those. Other thing on my mind today is our regularly scheduled Cumberland University Board of Trust meeting. Chairman Bone will call us to order at 2 o'clock, and we'll conduct the university's business, and we'll have a full room, and those meetings usually last about 2 or 3 hours, and we hear various reports and approve various topics, and but
you might be approving going back to school today.
Well, we've already made that decision, and I applaud President Stum for making that decision. The board certainly concurred with him on that, to go back, and they're putting together their plan on how to do that, how to do that safely. I know that the safety of the students and the faculty and the administration is of most importance to them. But so they're putting together a good plan, and we're expecting, I heard Dr. Stum talk a week or so ago, applications and the early enrollment numbers are looking very good again. So I think that's testimony to the fine work that he's doing. And so that we're looking for that meeting today, and hearing about not just where we've come these last few months, but where we plan to go in the upcoming months.
Well, how are the numbers right now at Cedarstone Bank?
Great. Very good. Great segue. You've done this a few years, haven't you, pal? And that's also code for, Bob, wrap it up, buddy. We've got about 2 minutes to go.
We got about 2 minutes. You're right.
We had our board meeting for the bank yesterday afternoon. Chairman Kevin Bay called us to order at 3 o'clock, and we heard a number of reports from various committees, and we always look at our financial results. We're very pleased with those. We're ahead of our expectations in terms of our financial performance and loan growth, deposit growth, and how that all relates to earnings for the bank. And so we're having a very good year. We've had a good first 6 months, despite things like tornadoes and pandemics. We've had a very, very good. In fact, it's been our best performance ever. And
I guess people are still borrowing money.
Well, they are, yeah, Coleman. You and I talk about that a lot, but people are, and I don't mean to sound redundant as I do with you, but people are buying homes. I talked to a realtor this week, and she said that real estate sales in Wilson County are very good because people are moving here trying to get away from congested larger cities. And so people are buying homes. They're renovating homes. Car sales. I heard from our good friend, a local car dealer, that last month was one of the best months they've ever had. So there's commerce going on. And we talk about this, but it's true. Driving on Highway 70 each day like I do, I see cement trucks. I see construction trucks with construction supplies on it. I see all kinds of signs of economics going on. So I think we can feel good about where we're headed and what they're. I mean, stock market, another big day yesterday. Yep. So anyway, we have a lot to be thankful for, including that free checking account we've got at Cedarstone Bank. It's completely free online banking with bill pay, free ATM card. You can use an ATM anywhere in the world, and it's free.
And a lot of people do.
A lot of people do.
I wasn't going to let you forget that.
I know you wouldn't.
We always talk about that free checking account, your signature product. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Coleman.
See you next Wednesday. Okay. Bob McDonald, President, CEO, Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, Simple Banking, simply better. We are 10 minutes after the hour, and we are going to start what we would call maybe a special program, a special feature coming up for the next few months with the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce Director Mark Hinesley. Mark is here this morning and all set to get going with a program each month here to talk about Mount Juliet and what all he does and the chamber involvement and that sort of thing. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. It's great to be here.
Well, it's great to have you. And, of course, I have mentioned most of the times when you are here as my guest, I mentioned the fact that I hardly ever take a vacation, an extended vacation, without letting you be one of the guest hosts. And you've done that for several years.
You know what? That's one of the things that I'll clear my calendar to be able to do that. I love it. When that on-air light comes on and you give me a chance to talk, I'm in radio heaven for a few minutes. But it's great to be here, and I'm looking forward over the next few months to share even more good news about Mount Juliet, what we have going on over there in the community.
Let me start out this way, because you suffered quite a bit of damage from the tornado. Then we've had the coronavirus. How are you pretty much recovered from the tornado?
I would say adapting. It's hard to say recovered when I still have friends and neighbors and people that I've known for ever since I moved to Tennessee who are still having a pretty rough time. So we still have purpose. There's still people that need our help. Recover Wilson County, is one. MJ Recovery. There are still people coming in and getting gift cards and people are still donating. The challenge is there's still there, immense challenge with the school children. So we're working on that, but simultaneously, as Bob just said a minute ago, commerce in some industries is as good or better than it's ever been, and there really has been no slowdown. It's very different, and I would suggest to most people that everything from the way we eat, shop, buy gas, go to school, travel, entertain, work, nothing is the same as it was about 115 days ago or something like that. So, and it seems to be changing at warp speed. And sometimes it's difficult to keep up, and you get ahead of yourself or behind yourself. But, there's some things stay the same. And I was thinking when I drove over here this morning, coming to Lebanon, when I used to work at the Cracker Barrel in Lebanon 30 years ago, coming over what is now 840, and Bob was talking about the Cumberland University Board of Directors meeting this afternoon, and when I get there and I'm facing the sun, that gold roof on the clock tower, the tower at Cumberland University has just been like a lighthouse for a long time, and it's calming and peaceful, and one of my favorite things about coming to Lebanon in the morning is seeing
landmark.
It is, yeah. And a lot of other things are still the same. We still have great people. People continue to invest in our county. Our school system is continuing to plan for the future and what difficult challenges as they have. And we're seeing new customers join the chamber, 4 alone yesterday. So people are still wanting to grow their business, start their business. I met yesterday afternoon with one who's buying a business on North Mount Juliet Road. So even amongst all of this, Wilson County is still a really, really good place to do business. And do I have time for a 30-second compliment real quick?
You do.
Hats off to the county commission for, you know when something goes wrong, but you don't always know when something goes right. And to pass a budget with no tax increase. Bob McDonald a minute ago was talking about how many people are buying houses to get out of other hires. I saw last night where Metro passed a 34% tax increase in property tax increase in their budget. Wilson County, no tax increase. And I just think that's remarkable to come out of what we're doing as conservatively as we have. They've been smart for years to build up a savings account for something like this. So hats off to all of those people who played such an important role in putting us in a spot where recovery is probably a little, we have more opportunities to succeed than perhaps others who maybe will not come out of this so well.
Mark, that vote was 24-0, and there were 24. One did not attend of the 25, and 24-0 after the amendment. So, yeah,
it's. I think we're blessed with that, and to build schools like we are. And I heard Mayor Hutto yesterday morning say, I think the cost, don't hold me, I think it was $85 million to rebuild those 2 new schools. Years ago, the school system, probably to the chagrin of some, decided they were going to fully insure those buildings, pay the cost. Some people probably thought, what are the chances you'll ever need that? Well, we lost 2 in one day. Yeah. And so now at no added cost to the taxpayer, we'll have 2 brand new schools for our children. So we have a lot to be really thankful for. There are challenges ahead, but and over the next few months, we'll talk about some of the ways the chamber and other folks are trying to help.
Okay, Mark Hinsley is here. We got more to talk about after this break here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:17. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford and the Works Vehicle Checkup. They'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal, tire rotation, and safety check. 1673 West Main. Now with traffic, let's check in with Chuck.
Well, good morning. We saw traffic get really busy a few minutes ago on 840 eastbound up by the National Super Speedway. On 840 just past Jefferson Pike there in that part of Rutherford County headed towards Wilson County. Traffic starting to get busy out here right on schedule 65 south there at Trinity Lane. It's time to have some summertime fun at Adventures Unlimited on the Coy River. Book online today at adventuresunlimited.net. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
This is Philip Etherly with Absolute Rental and Supply. Whether it's cleaning, painting, remodeling, or simply getting better organized, we have the tools and equipment to get the job done. Scaffolding, paint sprayers, ladders, power saws, portable heaters, temporary lighting, generators, hardwood floor staples. From wallpaper steamers to bulldozers, Absolute Rental has what you need. Call 615-443-RENT. Absolute Rental and Supply. We have what you need.
Coleman and Company, we thank you for joining us, and thanks to Mark Hinsley for coming out today. Are you president and CEO? Is that your title?
It is, but I'd like to think that right now, I'm not sure we need a chief executive officer, but we certainly need a chief encouragement officer. So
okay, that's the same title Melanie has
correct.
Here at our chamber.
That's right.
So if you both have the same title, I won't get them mixed up.
Yeah, it's hard to fill those shoes, and I keep chasing the great job that her and her team are doing, and someday we'll catch up. But hats off to them too, because I may be sitting here, but they have as many challenges.
All right,
as we
you
do.
brought a number of notes with you. You got, it looks like 2 notebooks here this morning, and I don't know how much of this we'll get to, but it's your turn, and I don't even know what to ask next. What else do you want to talk about?
Well, you were talking about the changes. Are things better, worse? And we've had many. What our CFO Danielle Druick told me one time. These are forced opportunities, chance to look at. And I'd suggest that whether it's a church, an organization, a business, heck, even our households, you take a look and how are we going to perform with the new ways, things that are in place. I mean, you go to the grocery store and you don't pick up your cart, somebody's wiping it down before you get to push your shopping cart. It's just every facet of life has changed. But one thing that I don't think has changed, if it's changed, it's probably changed for the better, and that is people still want information and they still want to know what's going on. And it's challenging when you can't get out and drive, you can't go in and see for yourself. Recognizing early on that flow of communication was more important than ever. We tried as quickly as we could to adapt. Okay, how are we going to, if we can't get everybody together in meetings, which pretty much came to a grinding halt, how can we get that information out? I'm not sure that on March the 2nd, I could spell the word Zoom. But let me tell you now, probably like others that are listening, while I'm not an expert, I'm learning every day about WebEx, GoToMeeting.com, and certainly Zoom meetings. And a few of the things that we've put in place to continue our programs, the information, we have, for example, this is all just since March the 3rd, we have Mount Juliet Monday. We have a different official, think of it as Coleman Walker, on Mondays from, I think, 11 to 11:30. People sign up, call in, and we have a different representative from the city every Monday at 11 o'clock for 30 minutes, Q&A and so people can continue to stay updated. That wasn't good enough, so then we added Wilson Wednesday, and now we have an the county mayor, Philip Warren, graced us last Wednesday. Today is the new CVB director, Jason Johnson. So just to share information about Wilson County, that's on Wednesday. On Thursday, from now until Thursday, July the 16th, the day before early voting, we have Coffee with a Candidate. So everybody in a contested election, in the contested race for the August election that represents even close to Mount Juliet, has a 30-minute call-in, Zoom call, if you will, at 10 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We realized that there was so much great work being done by so many of our nonprofits, and everybody wanted to help our friends and neighbors after the tornado and then carried right into the pandemic. But so we've gathered up and had our first nonprofit roundtable or nonprofit council. And we'll be following that up with a monthly, every other month, getting everybody together. We all share the same resources, whether that's ticket sales at our events, sponsors, volunteers, money, things like that. So we don't need to be scheduling fundraisers at the same time and things like that. So I see good things coming out of that. We lost our wine festival this year, which was, we only do 2 events a year. We do a wine festival in April and a golf tournament in October. And that wiped out our largest fundraiser and broke a 16-year, this would have been our 17th year.
Been quite successful, hasn't it?
Oh, it has. In fact, it was recognized as the largest wine festival in Tennessee for a number of years, of those wine festivals that only have Tennessee wines. Mm-hmm. So now we had 25 wineries. The expo is going to be on Saturday, April 24th or 25th. And, oh, boy, it's tough to lose your largest fundraiser with no opportunity to really ever recoup that. So we'll see what happens on down the road. If we can continue that, I hope so.
And your golf tournament?
We actually moved the golf tournament. It was in September. We moved it to October the 1st on a Thursday because we wanted to engage with Under Armour, and they, because of their work schedules, they cannot do outside events in the third quarter. So I said, well, if we can do it in the fourth quarter, we're in. So
October 1st is
Thursday. That's right. So Pine Creek graciously let us swap days, and we've already met with them. And we got some exciting things we're going to do different this year, but hopefully get some more people engaged. There's probably not an event that has better social distancing than a golf course on several hundred acres or whatever. So,
Are you a golfer?
I used to be, but I had trouble finding somebody that would ride with me for 4 hours, so I gave up golf. But no, I know my way around the course, but it seemed like every time I get done playing golf, I had to go to the chiropractor, and I just have a hard time sitting still for 4 hours at a time. But I love to be out there. It's a great day. It's always a sellout. We have a waiting list. So, and again, even with that, this year, no price increase, and we're actually going to add some stuff to the golf tournament to make it even better than it was last year.
Well,
so
I hope it turns out well for you.
We're already off to a fantastic start, and it's still 90 days away. So I want to also take just a minute while the time is right. Mayor Haggerty, who's been over here many times, has served in Mount Juliet in one capacity or another, whether as a planning commission or the mayor, for probably close to 20 years, if not over 20 years. And he's left an indelible mark in our community, and has been very deliberate, very consistent. And I just want to take an opportunity to thank him. He announced that he's not going to run for re-election. So, that'll sort itself out this fall. But really, I want to thank Mayor Haggerty for all the great things that he was able to accomplish and still working on it to this day. And
I think you left out one adjective. Very conservative.
He's very conservative, but
he probably appreciates.
But that's a badge of honor for him, and he and his family. I've known them for probably going on 30 years because in my other life, I used to spray his lawn for him over on Old Lebanon Dirt Road. So great, faithful family, and has been a blessing to us for many years. And I'm sure that he's not going anywhere, but I did see a picture of his grandkids the other day, all three jumping in the pool at the same time. So I know what he's up to.
He's thinks it's just time for him to kind of hang it up and let somebody else have that.
I believe he's probably of the thinking that public service is not a lifetime commitment. Yeah. Go in, do what you can, make the place better than it was when you got there, and leave it better for your kids and grandkids. And hopefully, there's other folks that can follow and do the same.
Well, we wish him well.
Yes, we all do. I want to also, while I don't have any kids that graduated from school this week, I can't even imagine what they have gone through, the parents, the kids, the extended family, the out-of-town people, visitors. Are we going to have it? We're not going to. And then the folks at the school, the parent organizations, the administrations, the teachers, whatever they have been through has just been beyond incredible, and no one could have seen it coming. And I didn't attend the graduation last night or tonight, but I hope that goes well. And I appreciate everybody working so hard. That's such a milestone in so many people's lives. And
well, even graduation is quite different, but at least on a positive side, they are having a graduation.
That's correct. Yeah. And as you mentioned when in your opening remarks, we're blessed with another wonderful day. And if tonight and tomorrow night are anything like the last couple of nights sitting outside, I bought some corn. So out in the backyard, I've been throwing out corn, and I'm luring those deer in a little closer. Maybe by daylight savings time change, I'll have them eaten out of the palm of my hand. I don't know, but I enjoy watching them, and it's really been really nice outside. So I want to, if there's one of these days that maybe the next time I'll talk about some of the new projects and developments that are going on in Mount Juliet. And I know that when the city representatives come over on the morning after the Board of Commissioners meeting, that there's sometimes an update and sometimes there's not. But before I come back again on Monday, July 13th is an important night for something that'll be on the Board of Commissioners reading for second reading. I'll use the word massive because it is a massive development called Providence Central in the proximity of the new Central Pike interchange that's working its way. It's garnered passage at the Planning Commission in June, and it passed the first of two readings in June. So there's one more vote on Monday, July the 13th, and if that passes, I believe they'll be moving dirt on Tuesday morning, July the 14th. And
any reason to think it won't make its final reading?
I wouldn't want to be in the place of the people that have to vote, because every project probably has pluses and minuses, good but maybe not so good. And I would hope that no project gets voted in just because of the good without considering the challenges that go with it. I also hope that something doesn't get voted out without considering what the good is coming from it. And it's a tough decision. You probably, I'm sure all communities have to weigh the pluses and minuses. And I'm not privy to things like that at the city, but I'd suggest that in this particular case, in my opinion, there's more pluses than there are minuses, and the pluses are just could benefit long term, and those could add to more pluses. And perhaps this is an opportunity to take something that maybe you don't particularly like and try to make that the best you can and move forward. Standing still is not economic development, in my opinion. We've been wanting Class A office space. Temporary taxpayers are tourists. We want to keep our people home with half our population still needing to leave Mount Juliet to go to work somewhere else. If we can find a way to get them working at home, they can spend them in Wilson County. They can also cut down the traffic, getting stuck in traffic. Maybe they commute 2 hours less a day. That means more opportunity to be the coach at the Little League or to donate time at the church or spend time with your family. Your quality of life goes up. Your expenses go down. Personally, I see many, many benefits, and this is something that could be huge it's probably a 20-year build-out.
Yeah.
So,
okay, well, we'll see you in a month, and thanks for being with us today.
thanks for saving me a spot. Have a blessed day.
All right.
Good to be here.
Mark Hinesley, he's Chamber of Commerce, Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce President and CEO, and that is part one of Coleman and Company. We hope you'll keep it here for more FM 98.9.
And at 7:29, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Absolute Kubota and Rental RedMax. Complete inventory of weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. 1325 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. We still see a pretty good backup there on 840 eastbound, just past Jefferson Pike, over near the National Speedway. Again, as you leave Rutherford County into that section of headed up towards Wilson County, traffic's on the increase out here now through Mount Juliet on I-40 westbound into Hermitage. Hey, it's time to have some summertime fun at Adventures Unlimited on the Ocoee River. Book online today at adventuresunlimited.net. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
This is Bob McDonough with Cedar Stone Bank. We know there are times when financial circumstances can be complicated for families and businesses, but we do not believe the solutions need to be. That's why for 15 years we've been delivering simple banking to our customers while still offering all services and products. We're thankful for our customers and the communities that we serve. If you don't bank with us, it would be our pleasure to visit with you and talk about how simple banking is simply better.
Cedar Stone Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Gregory Dental in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from University Medical Center. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
It's going to be a very pleasant day in the mid-state today. Highs will top out in the mid-80s with plenty of sunshine. Things will begin to heat up by Thursday, and the humidity levels will be on the increase as well. Temperatures on Thursday climb into the upper 80s with sunny skies. We'll hit 90 degrees for Thursday. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty. Professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist TJ Scott.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part two. It is a Wednesday morning, a wonderful Wednesday, and Philip Edley joins us to talk about one of his favorite subjects, which is absolute rental and supply. Good morning, Coleman. Everything from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers, and I didn't write it down, but in the other half of your building there, or whatever, the guy's out here Monday. He's come up with one for Absolute Kubota.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard that
well,
yet.
I'm going to have to remember it and write it down so I'll have it in front of me. But anyway, we're here to remind you that the phone number to Absolute Rental is 615-443-RENT. And it's an easy phone number to remember, but it's an important one because that's the way most of your businesses really started. I thought, well, you go to the internet, but I mean, as far as contacting you, most people do it on the phone, don't they?
It does. And most people call, and we encourage people to call. We've got a new gentleman on the counter now helping us, and we're breaking him in. This is his first week, and so it's kind of, I tell him, I said, you've got to listen to what everybody's saying, listen to what all the questions the other people are asking, because we really want to make sure we get the right product in the hand. And it's a challenge, but once you learn, it makes it real easy. But it is very important to ask questions, make sure the people are getting the right equipment to get the job done.
Well, I got to ask, are you replacing somebody or you're adding a new one?
No, adding to someone new. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that means business is good.
Yeah, we've been very blessed. And, like we've talked several times, the weather is getting more consistent right now. So, therefore, people are able to do a better job of planning, getting their equipment out. Still the last several weekends, though, a lot of our dirt moving equipment has been reserved and all out all weekend long. And man, I sure hate when someone calls looking for a skid steer or a mini excavator over the weekend. And we're saying, "Ooh, they are all out right now." And but anyway, it's a good problem to have. But
it's a whole lot better than the alternative.
Exactly, yeah. And it's a catch, the natural reaction. Oh, you need to buy more. You need to buy more. Well, I pull in this morning on Wednesday morning, and there's a whole line of mini excavators and skid steers sitting there. So you're thinking maybe I don't need to buy any more. So it's a fine line there. But we call and we ask people to call, and we can make them a reservation, and that's really the best way to take care of it.
443 rent.
443 rent.
RENT. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, you've got other things that are popular right now?
The pressure washers are really big. Concrete sealer right now is a prime time to do a lot of concrete sealing. We have a lot of people doing that. We still have people doing a lot of mulching. Of course, we do a lot of landscape contractor business. A lot of these landscapers come in and they buy a lot of our mulch products, pine straw, wheat straw, all types of things go with their job. So they're staying steady. The homeowner, as far as the mulch and stuff, is kind of slowed down right now, but the contractors' business is still real busy.
Well, you've had a good mix, I think, of both over the years, and I'm sure you love them both, the homeowners and the contractors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a good mix, and like we've said, it's exciting for us because there are seasons that things kind of are popular, and then they kind of flare off, and when that's flaring off, another one starts picking up. So it's a constant evolving deal, and we really enjoy that.
Well, go to the website, absoluterental.com. If you want to see, really, you can just call that your catalog, and really, it's all right there. I think everything you've got to rent is there. And the price is there for either 4 hours or 8 hours is a day or multiple days.
Exactly.
And then call 443 rent, and Philip and whoever's there is going to take care of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're going to make sure, do their best to make sure you got the right piece of equipment to do the job you want to do.
Right.
But and as you've said so many times, and we keep reminding people of this, but it's very important. It's important for them to have the right piece of equipment, also know how to use it. It's important for you that they have the one to do the job right, so they'll brag on you and come back.
Exactly.
And also know how to do it so they don't tear it up.
Exactly. I've been told years ago a repeat customer is the best compliment you can get, and that's what we strive for, is repeat customers.
Yeah. Well, I haven't even mentioned your location, 1325 West Main, and it's actually the home of Absolute Rental and Absolute Kubota. You're both there under one roof, but two separate businesses.
Exactly. Yeah. And works out really well. So everything's good.
You've been in the rental business quite a bit longer than the other, but both are there and both are doing well. And we were talking about cutting hay Monday, and I guess that's been.
It's been very hot. I was out till about 11 o'clock doing that last night myself. So, anyways, tis the season. Everybody's trying to get their hay down and up. But anyway, we've been very blessed, and there's a lot going on right now.
Well, I hope it doesn't get too dry. We've had several days with very little or no rain, and kind of chance to get caught up a little bit. It'd be all right with me if it rains again in a day or two.
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe give out 3 or 4 days. Let this. Hey, I
oh,
got.
okay. We want to get you. Hey,
exactly. Okay.
Well, anything else before you go?
No, just to give us a call or go to our website and look see what we have. But like I say, it is really important. I highly encourage people to give us a call and where we can make sure they get the right equipment and then make a reservation for them.
All right, great. Philip Atherley, thank you so much. We'll see you next Wednesday.
All right, thank you.
That's it for Absolute Rental and Supply. Again, their phone number is 615-443-RENT, R-E-N-T. Don't forget that. We want to welcome Lebanon Mayor Bernie Ash. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning, Coleman.
We had a city council meeting last night, and something was different about it. Actually, there's a couple of things that's different, but last night you all got to meet eyeball to eyeball.
We got to meet in person last night, which was a blessing for me. I'm happy that we have the technology to meet otherwise when we need to, but it's always good to look at each other and talk to each other and have the public there on a limited capacity to talk.
I would compare that in one way, sort of. From time to time, we will do a commercial or maybe even a live interview here over the telephone. But it's just a little bit different from being there where you actually see somebody, and we could say rub elbows, although we're kind of social distancing. But there is a difference, I think. But like you say, it's good that you can do that because I guess you almost couldn't have had a meeting if you hadn't done that.
Yeah, that's true, and it was difficult, but we were able to conduct business. I'm happy about that. But it's always good to be face to face, see facial expressions and that kind of thing.
Technology has allowed this, but 20, 30 years ago, that would have been impossible.
Impossible. I suppose. Just couldn't meet.
But the city's rolling along, and the other thing that is unusual is that you passed a budget last night, which the city usually has one in place by the 1st of July, but I don't know whether you was it first reading?
First reading.
Okay. Well, then I guess you're about on schedule then, because
we are.
You got your next meeting for the second reading.
Actually, we're going to have a special call meeting on July 25th. For the second reading of the budget, and maybe a couple other minor issues.
Two readings required?
2 readings are required.
Was it unanimous last night?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. No tax increase.
That's very important.
And it is, and we passed a status quo budget because of the tornado and COVID and all the things that have happened over the last 3 months. Sales taxes are unpredictable. And we're waiting to get the results. The results come in about 2 months behind, and we're waiting to get the June tax numbers in to see how it's going to look. That's probably going to be one of the worst months. And we already got in March, and March actually had a 3% increase in it, but that was when it all was
So what
started.
you get in June will be for April then?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Right. So
and we think that was the worst month.
I think so. Yeah, we want to see what the trend in our revenues are, and we'll go from there. I mean, we're just uncertain right now about the revenues. We think we're going to be all right, and we do have good fund balance. The budget is in good shape, but you don't want to jump into your savings account if you don't have to.
All right. Now, when you say status quo. I think we basically know what that means. Little change, but it's not a carbon copy, is it?
No, it's not. Basically, what we're doing, we're only spending money that we need to maintain business to keep things moving along. We pulled out all of the capital projects items, and not for good. We had a meeting of all the department heads, and they pulled out the items that capital project items that were going to be big numbers. And we had another meeting, and we we pinpointed 14 capital project items that would be a priority. So if the revenues are coming in as they should, we will start adding capital project items back into it.
Is anybody hurt bad from this, really?
No. You talking about department heads?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, each department, there really, I take it if it's status quo, there really haven't been cuts. It's just no increases.
That's right, no increases. But no, all the department heads are doing just fine. They've done a great job managing their budgets all along, which is very important to us. But they've accepted this and stepped up and found places where they could hold the line.
Well, with a status quo budget, is there any area that you feel is going to be hurt or something that really needed to be done that's going to have to be put on the back burner for a while?
Some equipment purchases, large items like a garbage truck, dump trucks, those kind of things. It's not that we don't need them, and we will eventually end up purchasing them. But at this point, if we can, manage what we've got, we need several new police cars, which we're going to be able to add some of those in. And then later on, we're going to have to add the rest of them in. So we've got to have the police cars. We've got to have the garbage trucks. All of those things are necessary, but we're just putting off the purchase.
Yeah. Well, Mark Hinesley was congratulating the county passing the budget Monday night with no tax increase.
Right.
Yours has passed with no tax increase, and Nashville actually added to what the mayor suggested, just a few percentage points, 34% or something. Yeah. Tax increase?
Yeah, I understand. Nashville had problems before all this came about with their budgets. Lebanon and Wilson County have done fantastic over the years managing their budgets.
Okay, so to recap here, I guess that was the big item last night.
Yes.
Really, was that first on the agenda or that?
No, it was down about number 4, number 5,
okay.
and.
But that's I guess that's our headline for the morning.
It is.
And the budget is passed on first reading,
right.
No tax increase, and a special call meeting.
That's
the 25th, I believe.
It'll be the 25th of June this month. I'm going to give the time at 5:30 at City Hall. Everybody's welcome to come. We can't get everybody in. We can get about 50 people in with this COVID thing, but
okay.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll take a break right here and more with Lebanon Mayor Bernie Ash coming up here. Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:45. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, and they've got the regular oil change. It's $24.95 up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal. Plus, they'll pick up and deliver your vehicle back to you absolutely free. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic. Here's Chuck.
Well, good morning. They're pulling a car out of a ditch. That's why it's slow here on 24 westbound at Joe B. Jackson here in this part of Rutherford County. It's rough going out here in parts of Rutherford County as it's slow. Go there 840 east past Jefferson Pike, trying to get up past the Nashville Superspeedway. Traffic's busy, but it's moving 65 right now, coming down through Madison. Bars Music City Soul Food now open behind the Bank of America on Nolensville Pike at OHB. Log on to barsmusiccitysoulfood.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
The Pavilion Senior Living residents are inviting you to become their new neighbor. If you're looking for a sign to move, call us at 444-5556 to learn more about the details. Or go to thepavilionseniorliving.com for more information. Or better yet, just drop by 1408 Medical Center Drive right behind Tenova Hospital and see for yourself. You should move here.
Coleman Company, we thank you for joining us, and we enter now our final quarter-hour segment here this morning. Lebanon Mayor Bernie Ash is here, and the mayor just telling me during the break here about a meeting that was held yesterday. I've seen some comments on Facebook about this particular subject, but you're ready to talk about it this morning.
Yes, sir. It's an important subject, something that needs to be talked about. I think it's been swept under the rug for a long time. As you know, we've had some demonstrations in the last few weeks on the square. It brought racism and the placement of General Hatton on the square, brought it all to the forefront. I had 2 gentlemen come to see me, two black gentlemen, and young guys, last week, and wanted to talk about moving General Hatton. They didn't want to tear it down. They wanted to move him. And I said, first of all, the city does not own the statue. We do not have the authority to move him. The sons and daughters of the Confederacy actually own the statue. They have permission from the city back in 1912 to place it on the square. Then when 70 came through, the property is actually owned by the state right away. Now, my job as mayor, I think, is when there is an issue, is to actually try to bring people together. So I put together a meeting yesterday with the sons and daughters of the Confederacy. They agreed to come and talk and listen. And I picked out several African-American people in the community that I know who are level-headed and reasonable people. And we all came together and we had a good meeting. I can't say that we agreed on anything yesterday, but we did talk and we learned from each other, and we're going to meet again and talk. Now, some people in the black community, as well as the sons and daughters of the Confederacy, did not want to move the statue. Some did. The first the two gentlemen who came to me, their idea was to move it to the cemetery. The sons and daughters of the Confederacy didn't want to move it to the cemetery because they've already got several statues out there already. But it was discussed. Now, the other option is not to move it at all, which is a reasonable option too. I threw out the option or an idea. I thought, instead of moving the statue, let's leave the statue where it has. It's been there since 1912. It has meaning to a lot of people. It has a bad meaning to a lot of people and a good meaning. Remembers history to a lot of people. My thought was to leave the statue where it's at. Maybe over where the cabin is, either move the cabin or leave the cabin there, create another monument to someone that the black community feels should be honored. And during the meeting, it was brought out that I didn't catch the name of the gentleman. There was a black gentleman back in that time who went and fought for the North in the Civil War. Came from Lebanon and fought for the North. I thought that would be a reasonable call, but I would want to leave that to probably the Black History Committee or somebody like that.
All right, I want to back up here for just a moment. I'm not sure I understood what you said there a minute ago, but the property itself, where General Hatton sits, who owns that?
The state actually owns the right of way to that property. Now, back in 1912, the city gave permission to the Daughters of the Confederacy to put the statue there.
Well, I was under the impression that organization actually owned the land that the statue sits on. That's incorrect?
I was too.
Okay.
But my understanding from yesterday's meeting is that they don't have a deed to it. Nobody has a deed to it. But
just given, things were probably done a little bit looser. Less pieces of paper to
That's right.
Witness something back at that time.
That's right. There may have been a deed at some time, but we don't have it now.
Yeah. So, it does. If they owned that land, that would make. Make it even
a big
different.
difference. Yes.
Okay.
But they do own the statue, and they have the right to it. And again, the city, we can't do anything with that, and don't want to.
Well, if there been anybody that just really adamant about, really setting their foot down about not moving General Hatton?
Yes. And there's the other side is there are people who are adamant about moving the statue. Yeah. I've gotten, I don't know how many emails and phone calls from people on both sides. Do not move the statue or tear the statue down, which we're not tearing anything down. But there's a very big divide. It's been there for a long time. And I was thinking about what in the world can we do to help this problem. And my thought is always, if you've got two opposing arguments, bring both sides together, put them in a room together, and let them talk. And that's what we did yesterday, and it was a great experience for me.
Really, no hard feelings?
No hard feelings at all. We had a lot of reasonable people. We had some people in the black community that didn't want to move the statue.
Yeah.
They felt it's it's part of history. We can't change. Can't change history, but we can remember it. And we had other people in the black community who we don't want to tear it down. We don't want to destroy it, but it's hurtful to a lot of people in the black community, and we would like it moved. And the discussion went from there. And we got a good history lesson from the Sons of the Confederacy about General Hatton, things I didn't know and things that others didn't know.
Well, Jack Cato wrote a book about that thick about it a few years ago.
Absolutely. Actually, I learned that he was General Hatton was actually killed in Virginia, and they couldn't bring his body back till after the war because they couldn't get it back to Wilson County because the North had burned the bridge or something.
Well, so you're going to have some more meetings.
We are going to have some more meetings and talk some more. I don't know if we'll ever have a solution to it. I hope we can, but we're going to talk. We're going to continue to talk.
Okay. Well, I guess as we say, to be continued.
Yes.
A lot. I'm glad to see there's some of the black community who would like to see it stay.
Yeah.
And I guess part of me is because it's always been that way, I don't want to see it change. I can understand the other side to some extent, but I don't think we can't do away with what's happened. History's history.
Yes.
And if there's any way to leave it there and do something else, personally, I'd like to see that.
You and I are on the same page. Of course, I was brought up with the statue.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a deep meaning to me, except it does. It's a reminder of the Civil War. It's a reminder of our history.
Funny on that. You remember Will Allen Carpenter?
Certainly do.
And he could be your best friend or your worst enemy. And that's got nothing to do with this. But he used to kid people. Somebody come in there, and especially ladies, he'd like. That statue down there on the square, how many legs that horse he's on are standing up? And of course, there's no horse there.
Well, one question that was brought up yesterday was, why does General Hatton have his arms folded on the statue? And it was brought. Martin Frost brought it out. He said, there's a very good reason that his arms are folded because it's easier to sculpt.
What else happened last night? All we've talked about is the budget, and then your meeting yesterday.
Yeah, one of the bigger issues came up last night was, and it wasn't voted on, but it was on the public hearing, was the annexation and rezoning of a piece of property on Taterpillar Road. The same piece of property came up, I believe it was last year, to be rezoned for multifamily housing. The neighbors opposed that, and they were turned out in big numbers last night to oppose this rezoning. That was defeated. Now it's been brought up to rezone it to light industrial. The issue that I had with that was they don't have a specific business ready to go in there yet, and if they rezone it light industrial, there are several businesses that could go in there, but we don't know what it might be, and the neighbors were uneasy about that also.
So what the vote was to not change to?
No, we did not vote last night. It was just on the public hearing.
I got it. Okay.
But the planning commission voted it down 6-2, but the staff was in favor of it, is my understanding, and a couple of other people, because it is on the land use permitted on the land use plan. So there we are. We have, but the property is also out in the county. The county, if we built any more industrial out there, the county would have to widen the road. That's a huge expense, and we don't know whether that would happen or not. So there are some issues out there.
Well, if the change is made, it's got to kind of start all over again, or is it just put on hold? Or
well, as of now, it will come up for a vote. Not in the special call meeting, but probably in the July meeting, and the council will have to decide at that time.
Okay.
So.
Well, it just occurred to me, this was your second meeting of the month.
That's just true.
Last night, wasn't it?
That's true, yeah.
Even though we're what's 17th, I believe, but
Yeah,
you had one on the second or third.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's the way the month falls is always the first and third.
First and third Tuesday,
whenever you do that. So
right.
anyway, this is a special call meeting then to
get the budget
final
passed.
reading on. And you said the vote was, I believe, it was unanimous last night.
It was unanimous last night.
All right, so everybody's on the same page here.
As of now, yeah.
All right, a couple of minutes left. Anything else on your mind this morning?
No, like I said, it's been a busy 3 months, but things are settling down a little bit. The corona thing is still out there, but we are slowly getting back to business. City Hall is mostly open. We've opened the Floyd Center with social distancing and a lot of extra cleaning. This is good news for you. We are planning to open the Senior Center the 1st of July. It will be we'll still be practicing social distancing, a lot of cleaning. We'll only have 100 places to come in at first, but we are beginning.
But that's 100, not 50.
That's right. That's right. And the tables are spread out, only 4 at a table. And the ladies who work there have done a fantastic job. They've been delivering 75 and 80 food plates a day out the door.
Well, now what's that going to do for cornhole and pool and shuffleboard?
Well, they just had a room where you can't have as many people in there. Only 2 pool tables are going to be open.
Okay.
And so we are slowly opening up and getting back to business, and hopefully we'll be back.
And that's just for the month of July.
If the numbers start going up, we'll have to back up and punt.
All right, but we are going to open, sorta, on July 1st. Okay. Yeah. We're out of time. Thanks for being with us this morning. Appreciate your visit always.
Thank you, Coleman.
All right. Lebanon Mayor Bernie Ace. That's it for a Wednesday. Please join us tomorrow. Till then, I wish you a wonderful day.